This is the question asked in today's SkillTrack Daily Challenge. So in the first line of our input, we are given the values of R and C. And after that, we are given a R cross C integer matrix as input. So now, in this integer matrix, if an integer is a multiple of 5, then it means it is a bomb. So the bomb is represented by a multiple of 5. Similarly, if an integer is multiple of 3, then it is a water. But if a number is, that is, if an integer is divisible by both 5 and 3, then it can be either a bomb or a water, but it should be considered as a water. And finally, if the integer represents a valid bomb, then it should blast all of its adjacent cells. That is, it should blast its left, right, top and bottom cells. So for the given input integer matrix, let us start triggering the integers. And it is also given in the question that the integers must be triggered from right to left from the last row. So this is the first integer which we will be triggering. So it is 10. So the integer 10 is a multiple of 5. So it should be representing a bomb, and it is also not a multiple of 3. So it is not a water. So this integer 10 is a valid bomb. So whenever the integer is a valid bomb, first it should blast itself, because while blasting, the bomb itself would be blasted. So first we will be changing this 10 to 0, because whenever a blasted area must be represented using 0. So I am changing 10 into 0, and after blasting it should be blasting all of its adjacent cells. So the adjacent cell is left, and while blasting the adjacent cell, first it should blast to the left and then right and then top and bottom. So in this order only it should be blasting the adjacent cells. And while blasting the adjacent cells, if any of the adjacent cell is a water, then the bomb can't blast that particular cell, and it cannot blast any cells after that. So in this case, the left cell is a 6. So this 6 is multiple of 3, which means it is a water. So the particular bomb cannot blast this cell, and just because it cannot blast this cell, it cannot blast any of the cells after that. So even though being a valid bomb, it could just blast only itself. It cannot blast any of the surrounding, that is adjacent cells. So like this we have to check for the next integer. So the next integer is 6, so it is a water. And then the third integer is 15, which is a multiple of 5, but it is also a multiple of 3, so it is considered as a water. So we move to the next integer 1. So 1 is not divisible by 5 nor 3, so it is not a bomb. And the next integer is 20. So here the integer 20 is multiple of 5, and it is not a multiple of 3. So this integer 20 is a valid bomb. So whenever it is a valid bomb, first it should blast itself. So it should be represented by 0 if it is blasted. So I am changing 20 to 0. And after blasting itself, it should blast all of its surrounding in the order of left, right, top and bottom. So the left cell is 61. So the integer 61 is not water, because 61 is not a multiple of 3. So the particular bomb could blast this cell. So this 61 after blasting becomes 0. So after blasting the left cell, we should check for the right cell. So the right cell is 1. Again, it can also be blasted. So I am changing it to 0. And after blasting left and right, we should check for the top cell. So the top cell is 5, which is not a multiple of 3. So this cell can also be blasted. So the 5 is changed to 0. So now we have blasted the left, right, top cells. And the next adjacent cell is the bottom cell. But here the bottom cell is a water, because it is a multiple of 3. The integer 6 is a multiple of 3. So the bomb could not blast this cell. So this cell remains as such. So this bomb has blasted itself left, right and top cells. The bottom cell is a water, so it could not blast it. So again we move to the next integer. So the next integer has now become 0, so it is not valid. And then the next integer is 5. So the integer 5 is a valid bomb, because it is a multiple of 5 and it is not a multiple of 3. So first it blasts itself. So after blasting itself, the integer 5 will be updated to 0, and now it will be blasting its adjacent cells. but the adjacent cell left is already blasted and it doesn't has anything in the right and top, and in the bottom also it is already blasted. So we move to the next integer, which is 0, which is not valid, and again the last integer is 5. So this integer 5 is a valid bomb, so it blasts itself, and then it doesn't has anything in the left, and the right is already blasted, and the top it doesn't has any integer, and at the bottom it is already blasted. So after triggering all the integers, this is how our updated integer matrix is looking like. So our task is to print this integer matrix as our output after triggering all integers. So only 15 and 16 is present, remaining all the places have been blasted. Now let us see how to write a C program for this. So first I am creating two integer variables named R and C, and then a two-dimensional array named matrix of size 100 cross 100. So I am declaring these variables outside the main function, because when they are declared outside the main function, it can be used from any part of our program. Like it can be used in our user defined function and also in our main function. So after this I am creating two more functions named isValidBomb and then isNotWater. So later let us see how these functions work. So now let us start with our main function, and in the main function first I am accepting the values of R and C using a scanf statement, and after accepting the values of R and C we have to accept R cross C integers. So I am using a nested for loop, and I am accepting the R cross C integers and storing it into the array named mat. So after accepting our input matrix, now we have to trigger every integers from the right to left from the last row. So that is how we are given in the question. So to iterate as per the required condition, I am creating the for loop like that. So the I loop iterates from the last row from r-1 till 0, and similarly the j loop also iterates from right to left. So it iterates from c-1 till 0, and in every iteration of this loop, if the integer is a valid bomb, then we will be blasting its adjacent cells. So first, to check whether the integer is a valid bomb, we make use of the function named isValidBomb, which is a user defined function. So now let us see how this function isValidBomb works. So this function accepts an integer in its arguments and returns 1 if it is a valid bomb, else it returns 0. So as per the question, if an integer is a multiple of 5 and it is not a multiple of 3, then it is a valid bomb. So in the return statement, first I am checking whether n mod 5 is equal to 0 and n mod 3 is not equal to 0. So if both of these conditions are satisfied, then the particular integer should be considered as a valid bomb. So using a ternary operator, I am returning 1 if both of these conditions are satisfied, else I return 0. So this is how this function named isValidBomb works. If it is a multiple of 5 and not a multiple of 3, it returns 1, else it returns 0. So whenever the function returns 1, then it is a valid bomb, and whenever it is a valid bomb, first the current cell itself should be blasted. So I am setting matrix of ij is equal to 0, because that is how a blasted cell must be represented as per the condition in the question. So first I am blasting the current cell itself, and after blasting the current cell, now we have to blast the adjacent cells, and while blasting the adjacent cells, if the adjacent cell is a water, then we cannot blast that particular cell, and we can also not continue blasting the remaining adjacent cells after that. So we have to implement the logic accordingly using the if else condition. And also the blasting of adjacent cell must take place in order. First we should blast to the left, and then right, and then top, and then bottom. So in this order only we should blast. So first let us check whether it is possible to blast the left adjacent cell. So the left adjacent cell will be present in the same row but previous column, which is I j minus 1. So I is same row and the previous column is j minus 1. So in a function named isWater or not, we pass these values I and j minus 1. So now let us see how this function isNotWater works. So this function checks whether the current cell is a water or not. So here is that function named isNotWater. So it accepts two integers in its arguments named row and column. and if the integer present at this particular row and column is a water, then it returns 0, else it returns 1, because that is how our function is named. So the function returns 1 if it is not a water, else it returns 0. So in the function, first if the row and column is within the range, we will be checking, else we will return -1. So first we will be checking whether the row is less than or minus 1 and the column is less than c minus 1 and the row is greater than 0 and column is greater than or equal to 0. So if all of these conditions are satisfied, then it means that the row and column are within the range. But if these conditions are not satisfied, then we simply return -1. But if these conditions are satisfied, then this function returns either 0 or 1. If it returns 0, it represents it is a water. If it returns 1, then it means it is not a water. So the condition for water is the integer is divisible by 3. So if matrix of row and column mod 3 is equal to 0, then we return 0, else we return 1. So this is how this function works. If the integer, that is if the cell is not a water, then it returns 1, else it returns 0. So now let us see how we will be using this function in our main program. So in our main program, we have seen till our 38th line. So now we have to check whether it is possible to blast the left adjacent cell. So if we want to blast the left adjacent cell, then it should not be a water. So using this function is not a water, we will be checking whether it is a water or not. So in the arguments we are passing I and j minus 1, which is the index of the left cell. And if the function returns 1, then we blast it. So the blaster should be represented as 0. So we set matrix of I j minus 1 equal to 0. And in the else if condition, we have to confirm whether this function returns 0 or not, because the function may even return -1 when the arguments are out of range. So in the else if condition, again we are passing the same values of I and j minus 1, and if it returns 0 only, we will execute the continue statement, because only if it is a water, it should not be blasted. If it is out of range, then we should be checking for the adjacent cells. Only when the cell is a water, we should not be checking for the remaining adjacent cells. So only when the function returns 0, we will be executing this continue statement. When we execute continue statements, all the statements after this will not be considered. So this is how we will be avoiding checking of the remaining cells. So this is for the left adjacent cell. Similarly, we have to implement the logic for the right and top and bottom in order. So now let us see how we will be implementing the logic for the right cell. So the right cell will be present in the same row but next column. So the I value will be same, but instead of j minus 1, we will be using j plus 1. So first we will be checking whether it returns 1 or not. If it returns 1, then we will be setting matrix of I j plus 1 equal to 0, which means it has been blasted. But if it is not blasted, then in the else if condition, again we will be checking whether, that is we will be confirming whether it is a water or not. So if it returns 0, then we execute continue, else we will be checking for the remaining adjacent sites. So for the top, we have to change the value of I, and the j will be as such, that is for top the value of I will be I minus 1, and for bottom it will be I plus 1. So similarly we have to execute the conditions for that, and finally after the execution of this loop, we have our output in our matrix itself. So using a nested for loop, we have to print this updated matrix, which will be our required output. So this is the logic. Thank you for watching.